We are discussing an interview with Dr. Christiaan Barnard, and the interview is conducted by the famous Indian journalist N. Ram. We have already talked about Dr. Christiaan Barnard's success as a surgeon, as a heart surgeon, and he has told us how he became successful as a heart surgeon in transplanting the human heart. So, after talking about Dr. Christiaan Barnard's success as a surgeon, and Ram comes to the next topic, and now he comes to the issue of apartheid. When N. Ram comes to the issue of apartheid, he asks him questions. He asks, "You were born and raised in apartheid South Africa. How did you feel about this as a young man, particularly after you became active as a surgeon?" To this question, when Dr. Barnard responds, he replies that as a child, he was not much aware of apartheid, but he became more and more aware of it after 1948 when the National Party came to power. It made laws that said you, being a white, had to sit on separate benches and go into separate areas. You were not allowed to go out with a colored girl or vice versa. These laws of discrimination were unacceptable to me, he tells N. Ram. Dr. Barnard, as I said, became aware about it in 1948, and he considered apartheid an irrational and absurd policy. See the signboards that speak volumes about the separation of blacks and whites. See these signboards. This is white area. These areas are reserved for white people, and blacks are not allowed to be there. See what this signboard reads: only whites. These signboards are from South Africa, exclusively for whites. No blacks can enter here. Oh my God. Read these instructions. Natives, Indians, coloreds, if you enter these premises at night, you will be listed as missing. Armed guards shoot on sight. Savage dogs devour the corpses. You have been warned. These are the signboards. And if you disobey the rules, then God knows how many people lose their life in the name of racial discrimination. Look at this picture. Notice the separating line between, notice this line. This is a line between the two parts. This name of a school, Horse School Pearson High School. You can just imagine how these boys are white boys. All these boys are white boys, and all these are black boys, boys or girls, whatever they are, whoever they are. These blacks and whites segregated from each other, and the height is that they belong to a high school. Such discrimination prevailed in South Africa in those times. There were grades, and the whites were at the top of the grade. Whites, then Indians, then colored, then black people, and at the bottom are the blacks. Race Classification Act it is. It was a very dismal situation for blacks. They breed race hate. This is one board which one protester is holding in his hand. These are more demonstrators. Freedom in our lifetime, they are demanding. This is a picture of 1950s, late 1950s. And these protesting people, they struggle for a long time. And finally, you can see Nelson Mandela, the great South African leader. And finally, this segregation ended. Now, Christiaan Barnard, talking about the apartheid situation in South Africa, he tells Enram that his father was a missionary. His father grew up among the non-white people of the country, and he was dead against the policy of segregation, the policy of apartheid. To him, the apartheid policy was against the teachings of God. He used to say, how can you love your neighbor as yourself when you practice these discriminations? Thus, to him, the apartheid policy was against the teachings of God. And because of his stance against the apartheid policy, Dr. Christiaan Barnard was once attacked.